acoustical space.
Okay.
In the back of your head. While you're humming, I want you to think about keeping the tongue relaxed and the tip of your tongue right against your bottom teeth.
Okay.
So we'll just start nice and low. Just thinking about stretching open the space behind your tongue.
Okay.
Do this making eye contact with yourself, because it'll actually help you to process what's happening with your body and everything if you can see it.
Okay.
Question.
Yeah.
Is your tongue completely closed against the roof of your mouth? So, yeah, you can just let your tongue release from the roof of the mouth. Is that how it is?
I think.
Do it once with your tongue flat against the roof of the mouth.
I think maybe the back is sneaking up a little.
Yeah, okay, great. So this time, you're just going to keep the tip of the tongue connected to the back of the teeth and try to let the rest of the tongue hang away from the roof of the mouth. And all you're doing right now is just thinking about the space, kind of the architecture in the back of your head, and thinking about stretching the space open behind your tongue, so your tongue is just dropping down out of the way.
Okay.
Chew your mouth like you have a piece of bubble gum in your mouth. And stretch out your jaw muscles. Now just let your jaw be relaxed. You're not like setting your jaw, it's just nice and neutral. Okay, I don't want to take this too high. So let's go back a little bit lower, and now we're just going to open it up to some pure vowels. And your goal is to keep the same amount of space as you had when you were humming.
Okay.
Do it once on the hum, just to remind yourself of the sensation.
Okay.
Tongue first. Let's clear up the E sound. So make the E. I know sometimes we're modifying more towards I. Can you bring it halfway back towards E again? So it's not E, but it's E. But it's also not E. Okay. It's just a nice kind of round E vowel. Good. You can let your lips move, actually. I feel like you're holding your face totally still. your lips can come forward, especially on O and oo. It'll be helpful. Okay. Good. You can let the top note kind of flip with your head voice. That's beautiful. Thanks. That was the first one where I really felt like you were playing tug of war a little bit with your tongue. It's like at the onset, it was a really nice open sound, and then it was like your tongue kind of
It was like, I need a
retracted
job.
back. It's like, that's not what I usually do.
Okay.
So let's do it on a hum again. Letting the back of the tongue be nice and wide and flat.
On the hum?
Mm-hmm. Now back to E-A-O. Yeah, that was great.
Okay.
Are you sometimes feeling the difference?
I think I sometimes feel, I think I'm more feeling when I do put my tongue up, and I'm like, oh, that's happening.
Yeah. I want to say it's more like I want the back of your tongue to be a little bit wider and flatter
Okay.
rather than gathered together and tall.
Yeah. I feel, it's like your larynx back there.
The larynx is in your
Oh,
Adam's
just kidding.
apple.
Well, I'm starting to feel more going on. I don't know what things are called, but my awareness is getting...
Absolutely.
Oh, thank God.
Like, the sound is basically being projected out of the back of your head. You know?
Okay.
So, your vocal folds are the things that vibrate inside of your Adam's apple.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you kind of just feel the front of your throat, you can find, like, your thyroid, which is that kind of butterfly-shaped gland.
It's too much for me.
Basically, think Adam's apple.
Okay.
And inside of there
Okay.
is your larynx.
My larynx.
It's like this, and then it has two little flaps of skin. They're called the vocal folds or vocal cords.
Okay.
And that's what makes sound. When air flows through the vocal cords, and they vibrate.
Uh-huh.
So the sound originates in your voice box, and then it resonates through the rest of your head. Kind of like the string on a guitar is what originates the sound, but the body of the guitar is like a sound box that helps resonate the sound that the string makes.
Okay.
Okay. So, yeah, what we're thinking about is just like, how can we optimize the space that the sound is resonating in so that you get most amount of overtones, the most beautiful open sound possible.
And then by releasing the tongue, you're taking away the tension, so it's not like, yeah!
Yeah.
Okay.
In a sense, like, you can think of the tongue as being connected to the top of the larynx.
Okay.
So the larynx, the voice box, is like floating in your throat.
Okay.
So when you tighten your tongue, it can lift the larynx.
Oh, yeah.
Or think of that moment like right before you're about to yawn, and your larynx can drop down lower.
Oh, we like it low.
We want it nicely suspended in the middle.
Okay.
So what I'm kind of suspecting is that your tongue being stiff, it's kind of like a stiffness in the back of your tongue, is basically kind of impeding the larynx from just floating freely.
Interesting.
We just want the larynx to kind of float freely in the middle of your throat without being pulled up or down. Just nice and open.
Okay. I appreciate the anatomy lesson.
Of course.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Let's do some of our normal exercises.
Okay.
Let's do lip bubbles. We'll just stay with the lip bubble for a second. I want to make the exercise longer so that you can play with this gentle lift and release of your breath that we were talking about last week.
Okay.
So let's do 1 octave up, 2 octaves down.
Okay.
Yes. And I'm not saying you were doing this at all. I just want to give you some things to think about.
Yeah.
So in order for this all to work, we were saying we want the rib cage suspended.
Mm-hmm.
That's that inhale breath, like you're breathing into a resistance band or an inner tube. So that's the rib cage. And you want to basically keep the rib cage suspended, including your sternum, like the whole time. So when you exhale, your chest will stay exactly where it is. The belly is just going to lift up and in. This is the opposite of that now. I want to just give you something to compare against. Inhaling and exhaling with the chest collapsing. So yeah, I mean, that's fine for everyday life. But for singing, we want to keep the sternum and the rib cage floating. And throughout the phrase, feel the lift of your navel up and in, rather than letting your chest collapse.
Okay. So I'll keep my ribs out the whole time.
Yeah. You're just going to think about keeping the sternum up.
Okay.
So you're not going to let your shoulders or your chest collapse throughout the phrase. You're going to keep your posture, and at the bottom of the exhale, just lightly tuck the belly in.
And then, should I keep my tongue still, like, on the bottom of my bottom teeth?
Yeah, this is a great way to kind of play with both concepts at once.
Okay.
So you're going to keep the tip of your tongue connected to the back of your teeth.
Okay. Is that, like, normal technique, I guess, when you're not saying words?
Exactly.
Okay.
This is just a nice neutral position for the tongue.
Okay.
And then the back of the tongue is nice and wide and flat.
Okay.
Great. I just want to make sure that your inhales, you're allowing the belly to expand.
Okay.
So it's probably a little bit different than dance, where you might be bracing your core like the whole time.
Yeah.
But when you inhale, you want the belly to be able to open. And then it's on the exhale that you get that little tuck sensation. So it's very flexible. I just don't want you to get the idea that I'm asking you to brace your core.
But my ribs do stay open the whole time?
Oh yeah, you were doing a great job with the rib cage.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely different from dance.
I just want to be sure that you know it's flexible and you're not trying to be stiff at all. It's more about allowing your belly to expand and then allowing it to fall back. Okay, let's do something else. Let's do yeo, yeo, yeo. So you'll do the whole pattern 3 times, because that'll give you a chance to get almost to the end of your breath and really explore those edges of your breath capacity.
Okay.
Good. You can let your arms drop by your sides. Good. 1 second. I want to see your belly expand on your inhale. And then go ahead. Great. And now, the breath action only works if you have the freedom in your tongue too. So we're kind of working both sides of it at once. Think of it like, first you have to get the breath going.
Okay.
And then you have to like let your tongue be free. And just trust that the breath is going to do the work for you. Oh, I liked that E vowel. It sounded very natural. Great. You can let your lips be involved in the O and the U vowel. Starting to get pretty high, you can actually let your mouth open for the high notes. You're doing great.
Overcorrected.
No, it's great. We really are just like at these last few notes. When it gets that high, you just gotta let the jaw open a little more. Start again. Sorry. Start again. Take a nice open breath. Keep the tongue wide and flat in the back. Cool. How does that feel?
It feels better.
It sounds great.
Cool.
It sounds really nice and open and healthy. You can do that all day and not lose your voice. And that's the thing about, we're trying to optimize your body like a car for like efficiency, right? I'm just trying to take out anything that's going to add tension to the system, that's going to tire you out because like you're an athlete. When you're a singer or a dancer, when you're in musical theater, you're an athlete. Mm-hmm. And so we want your body to be as well tuned as possible so you can do an 8-hour rehearsal if you have to.
Definitely. Yeah.
And not lose your voice at the end of the day. Awesome. Okay, let's do something other than vocalize.
Okay.
What do you want to